Hi everyone, Siam here. So I posted out this status the other day in the weekend about getting an MBA for basically 5% of the price, which, yes, it does seem pretty insane and also too good to be true, but obviously there are a lot of the devil is in the details. Obviously I don't have all of the details myself, so what I've got is effectively the horse at the other end of the laptop right now, or I'm going to get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. No offense, Jill and Rory. So yeah, basically I've come across about 18 months, 2 years ago, a lovely company called the Lighthouse Group, and it's basically a leadership management training centre, and they really do specialise, and they're pretty much one of the top entities in the UK for leadership management training, etc. So yeah, feel free to have look them up at the Lighthouse Group, or lighthouse-group.co.uk. Now, I basically, in terms of my relationship with them, I've got a small shareholding in Lighthouse, so that is, where I come into this and how I came about it. And every now and again, I chat with Jill, who is the director, who will introduce every now and again. And pretty much every time I meet her, she's always talking about some new pot of money that the government has put aside, etc. So Jill knows the government pots and agendas and apprentices and all these sorts of programs like the back of her hand, because whenever you go to the government website for anything, it's a bit of a minefield. So hello, Jill, Roy, you guys there?
Hello.
Hi, Siam.
Hello. Okay, so thanks for sparing your time on such short notice. I thought, just because of the amount of people that wanted more details, I thought we simply had to get some details quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to doodle on this blank PowerPoint. I'm going to make basically notes myself, and I'm going to ask every silly idiot question I can think of. And yeah, any other questions, we can address that at a later date. So basically, from my silly understanding, or simple understanding of this all, is that if I am an employee that's working in a company, and I would like some training, i.e. an MBA, what I could do is go to my boss and say, hi, I'd like some training, there's an MBA thing here. And Mr. or Mrs. Boss pays the or basically, get rid of that bit, only has to pay 5% of the MBA, which is £900. And then the government, somewhere over here, coughs up the other 95%. And then you go through 3 years of hell in terms of getting this effective uni degree. Is that in a nutshell correct?
In a nutshell, that's spot on.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so I do listen. Okay, so let's go back. Let's start from the beginning again. So where does Lighthouse fit in all of this? Who is Lighthouse? Really?
Okay, so we've been around for a few years now, Siam, and really our specialism is leadership and management training. So long before the apprenticeship levy became a thing, we were working with organisations from junior managers right up to exec level, delivering qualifications in leadership.
Okay, lovely. And in terms of the whole MBA process that I just drew out here, where does Lighthouse sit with this? Are you guys, I guess, the facilitator? Or what?
Yeah, I guess we've got access to a pot of money funded by the Education and Skills Funding Agency that's available for small to medium-sized enterprises to access some of the funding, as long as they're going to use that on an apprenticeship programme.
Okay.
And in their wisdom, they've put an apprenticeship programme together that absolutely mirrors an MBA, and at the end of it, you would actually achieve a full MBA qualification.
Nice. And what does ESFA stand for again?
So the Education and Skills Funding Agency.
Okay, cool.
This is basically the government, the Department of Education. This is who provides all the funding to schools and lots of other training organisations.
Okay, and so with this pot of money, let's just draw this pot of money. From my understanding, there's effectively two halves of this pot. So you have non-levy and then the levy.
Yeah.
Yep. So which is which?
So the levy-paying employers, this is for larger employers, probably 100 plus. And the key there is a wage bill of over £3 million a year. They'll know all about the levy. They're already paying a portion of their PAYE bill into that, and they're able to then claim that back against any training they do under the apprenticeship heading.
Okay, so if there's a big fat company over here with £3 million plus of wages per year, a little chunk of their outgoings is going into another little pot, and then the government is effectively saying, hey, you can use this pot for training.
Absolutely. The limiting factor is you can only use it for apprenticeship training. You can't use it for any other type of training.
Okay. And define apprenticeship?
Well, I think traditionally apprenticeships were something that the school leavers did. You did your apprenticeship in plumbing or electrician or something like that.
Yeah.
But actually this levy's opened it up to a whole new level of apprenticeships, right up to degree and postgraduate level. And really, it's not just for people leaving school. In fact, we have no school leavers on our books. Most of our learners are people who are in anything from a first-line management position up to a director position.
Oh, so really like 30 years old plus, really?
Absolutely. I believe the oldest apprentice is in his 90s. Now, we're not personally supporting him. But I believe right up to that ripe old age.
Blimey. Okay. So obviously that isn't relevant to anyone on this call right now, let's say.
No.
So let's just put a big thing through that. I get carried away with my pen, so you have to tell me off if I get spend too much time doodling. Okay, so that's the levy stuff. What about the non-levy? So this is the pot of money, which I guess is relevant to everyone watching this interview right now, I guess. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, can someone explain a little bit about the non-levy pot then?
So the non-levy pot is for companies who have a wage bill of under £3 million.
Okay.
And what the government has done is allowed it so that the company only pays 5% of any of the new apprenticeship levies. So,
wow.
And the government will make up the other 95%.
Blimey. And where does the other 95% come from?
So in short, what the government have sort of, in effect it comes from the Department of Education's budget.
Okay.
But what they're really looking at is the larger employers who are paying these massive amounts into their levy pot.
Yeah.
The anticipation is that not all of them will use all of that pot. So really what's left there is what's being used to fund the SME type organisations.
Okay, so basically there's a big pot over here, let's say, all the big PLCs, like enterprise businesses, that anyone with a 3 mil salary over, they're all putting it into this big pot. Those companies can have access to that pot for training for their own people, but
yep.
The government have said, using their statistics, they're like, well, probably that chunk won't be used. So we're going to give that chunk to tiny businesses. Is that pretty much the idiot version?
Much, yeah.
Cool.
And obviously that funding pot's only available to training providers who are already delivering apprenticeships and approved to deliver apprenticeships.
Okay, so I guess that's where Lighthouse comes in again. So how do you become an approved provider? So I guess you're already regulated up the yin yang with Ofsted, aren't you?
We are, yes.
Okay. And so all the providers that can do this, they have to go through all the hoops of Ofsted.
Yes, it's quite a rigorous application process to get on what they call the Register of Apprenticeship Training Providers.
Okay.
And once you've got your approval, then you're able to deliver funded learning to businesses of all sizes.
Nice. Okay. So that is good. And so I'm just trying to think, any other questions? So what is the catch then? Because it seems too good to be true, doesn't it?
And it's like everything with the government, they don't give away their money for free. And the real drive behind the apprenticeship levy is about upskilling the workforce, really.
Mm-hmm.
So although they're giving away quite a bit in funding, it's actually not an easy qualification. There's an awful lot of work, and I think completing an MBA in 2 years whilst working full time, anyone who's done that will know how hard work it's going to be. So that's probably the catch, Siam.
Okay. So basically it's a full-on 2-year degree plus full-time work.
Yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted.
Okay. So it's not like an attendance thing where you turn up and get a little certificate, like a plastic MBA. It's a real MBA.
It's a real MBA from a real university, and it will be covered in your own blood, sweat and tears from the study.
Nice. And okay, so Lighthouse are, I guess, the facilitator, etc. So and is this remote? Is it like what's the split in terms of going to actual classes or like?
It's what we call blended learning. Yeah, so blended learning is where there's a combination of different learning styles. So there'll be some classroom workshops, probably around a day a month. That will be supported with some action learning groups, with some coaching groups, and also there will be a significant amount of work to be done in your own time, really, and that can be flexible to whenever you want to do it. And that will involve doing some research, doing some reading. There's quite a lot of academic elements to be completed here.
Okay.
What we've really tried to do with it is make it not just academia, but actually make it practically applicable to your workplace almost as you do it.
Okay. And so with the physical events, or the sessions, where do they go?
They're going to be delivered out of Cambridge, a place called Madingley Hall, just outside Cambridge.
Okay. That's quite a fancy building. I've been there before, Madingley Hall.
It's lovely. It's part of Cambridge University.
Okay. So would they be able to say I've got an MBA from Cambridge Uni or not?
Yeah, with a play on words, they probably would.
No. Okay, so Madingley Hall, and again, I like my little pie charts, as you probably gathered.
Yep.
So if that was all the time committed, what is the split between remote working? So, because this is, I guess, an open degree of some sort.
Yeah,
so,
it's open, and as I say, it's what they call distance learning. So the classroom sessions sort of support all the work that's going on in the background.
Yeah.
You can probably, realistically, I think you can probably expect to spend at least 3 or 4 days a month working on your MBA outside the classroom. So you're going to have to give up a significant amount of your free time.
Okay. So would you say 80% distance learning, 20% physical, or?
Yeah, I'd say probably more, maybe 70-30.
Okay.
And again, the way we like to deliver is we try and adapt to our delegates. So we do tend to look at what's required for each particular cohort and try and work to them.
Cool. Right. Fair enough.
I think that's worth also mentioning that there's a big advantage of obviously coming to a specialist like Lighthouse, because we are so passionate about making sure the learning does go back to the workplace, which is perhaps a bit more than you get with a normal MBA. So obviously you do have the extra work, as it were, because you're doing a degree as well as doing your full-time job. But it's got such a big benefit to have somebody who specialises in leadership and management training like we do.
And I do remember working many years ago with the chief executive of an NHS trust, and him telling students about when he achieved his MBA and he thought he'd made it. And he said, and then I realised over time what actually that stood for was mediocre but arrogant. and his takeaway from that was actually, I went really good stuff, but I couldn't actually apply it for many years. And that's what we've tried to add to the programme. It's not just the academic, it's the practical application as well.
Nice. Okay. So, I think we've got a pretty good picture so far. So the result, or the benefit for anyone that's listening here, is that at the end of 2 years of hard work, they actually get an MBA for free, effectively, or their boss has paid, was it 900 quid? 5%?
Yeah, £900, yeah, that's the maximum they'd have to pay.
Max, wow. Okay, so that's all the benefits for us. So the boss, okay, let's put our shoes in the boss's boots. What is the benefit of the boss? So let's say I employ people, you employ people, etc. Let's say one of my staff members wants to do an MBA. I pay 900 quid. Yeah, that's fine. Isn't it going to detract from my work? Like, are they going to be? because obviously if I have a good staff member and all of a sudden they're going to be spending, all of their free time, or will it detract from the work? That's the question I want to know as a boss.
I think, in the short term, it will be extra work and they may be a little bit distracted, but I think you're looking at the long-term benefits here. And I think all the studies show that employers who invest in their staff and allow them to study for qualifications keep their staff for longer. So I think, it's not going to be a quick turnaround, but in the long run, they'll have someone who gets business, who knows how to run a business.
Okay. And I don't know if you've seen any studies. Are there any studies of where people get all the new training and then bugger off for a better job, or did you say that they...
The studies through the CIPD actually are quite the opposite, Siam. That the evidence is that when employers invest in people and give them the opportunity to earn qualifications, they're more likely to stay.
Okay.
Because the type of organisation who does that is a valued organisation to work for.
Yeah, that makes sense. And CIPD, what does that stand for?
The Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. So that's sort of
Nice.
the accrediting body for HR professionals.
Cool. Okay. I think I've covered all. Well, I'm just trying to think if I've got any other questions. Benefit of employer. Okay, availability. So, in fact, let's get another screen up here. Availability. Yeah. So, what are the times, dates? Hit me. What?
Okay. So the next cohort is due to start in October.
Okay, just pause 1 second there. Cohort. Sorry, remember that I'm an idiot. So, what's a cohort first?
Okay, so typically if you attend this program, you'll be attending with a group of probably 10 to 12 other people from different organisations.
Okay.
So that networking opportunity is almost as valuable.
I was going to say that's pretty cool.
As the MBA itself, yeah. Particularly if you're running a small business, it can be quite isolated sometimes. So that opportunity in itself, I think, is worth it.
Oh wow. Okay. Yep. Okay. So when's the next cohort? Sorry.
So the next cohort is due to start in October. So the sign-up process for that would be commencing probably mid-August. And we've probably got, within the funding we have allocated to us at the moment, we've probably got enough for maybe 6 to 8 places. So they really are quite limited in terms of who can start this year.
So just for this year. So in 2019, 6 to 8 places in 2019.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you have other slots in 2020?
Yeah, the next intake would be April 2020. And by that time we should have access to an additional pot of money. So numbers there would be less limited.
So obviously it's reading the future, but any ideas like roughly how many places in April?
It really is down to how much the government is going to fund, and they've not given us clarity around that yet. I think they've probably got other things in their mind at the moment.
Yeah.
But the idea is that anyone who wants to earn a qualification should be allowed to. But
Okay.
I'll have more clarity on that. I reckon it'll probably be early 2020 before they commit to that.
Okay. Fair enough. That's good. Oh, one other question I just remembered. So a lot of the people on the Facebook group I know are business owners. So what about if you're a one-man band director of your own company? Do you qualify? Because technically you're an employee of your own business.
Yeah. In short, probably. The reason I'm a bit sort of hesitant on that one is it all depends on whether the organisation is registered and can get a registration number. It's probably a conversation to have on a one-to-one basis, but we have at the moment got people on our other programmes who are basically owners of their own organisations, and they've been able to attract the funding, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
We need to look at that on a one-by-one basis, case-by-case basis. Sorry.
And what is the registration number thing? Is it?
There's a thing called a UK PRN number. It's a little bit of jargon.
Okay.
The organisation basically has to be able to register as an entity. So if you run a limited company, it probably wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
But if you were a sole trader, it might be more of an issue.
Okay, so let's take me for example. I'm a director of a limited company. So I could put myself forward for this.
You absolutely could.
Okay, so let's just delete this bit because
Sorry.
No, it's my bad question. So yes, sweet. So I basically pay you £900, and 2-3 years later I get an MBA. after
Absolutely.
doing all the work.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously in yeah.
Yeah, and there are, as you would expect, Siam, there are various eligibility checks that the government will ask us to go through, but that would all be covered as part of that initial sign up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. In fact, that's a good idea. Let's go through the process now. So, I'm just gonna cordon this off so we don't confuse it. If anyone that knows me, I like my little process diagrams. So, okay. So we've got this. Let's call it an interview.
Yep.
With you and Roy. And let's say that whoever's listening to this is, a person that wants training. They're in a company of some sort.
Yep.
And they want it. What's next? You guys you have a pack to send out to them? Is that of some sort?
Yeah, we can definitely send a pack to them. We like to do that as a sort of a nice hello to Lighthouse, give you an idea of the type of training we do. So, and we'll probably do a pack where there'll be a little bit for you, but also perhaps a pack to give to your boss as well.
Yeah.
So it gives both sides of the story, as it were.
Nice. Okay. So, if the boss says yes, so then what? Do you set up a phone call for this eligibility question?
Yeah, the next step would be to have a conversation with our head of programs, and really that is around eligibility is one thing, but it's also around will. Now, as you can see, we've got limited places, so we want to make sure that we're applying the funding to the people who are going to make the most use of it. So that's probably around 20 minutes time that we just have a chat with them over the phone or face to face if that's easier for them.
Okay, and you guys are in Ipswich? Is it,
We're
or
based
just
in
out?
Ipswich, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and they could just call me. So if they ask for Roy, when they come through, and I'll make sure that they get to speak to Harriet or whoever needs to speak to them at a convenient time.
Cool, lovely. So that's roughly sort of 20 minutes. Cool. And so if, let's say, this person is definitely keen and the boss has approval, and you think that they're definitely going ahead with it, then what happens? What's the next step?
The next step would be for us to guide them through the sort of application process for the university. Now, the university we deliver the programme in partnership with is called the University of Arden.
Okay.
And because, again, they have to follow university protocol, there's a fairly hefty application process to go through, but we'll guide you through that.
Okay, where's Arden based?
They're based just outside Coventry.
Wow, so this
a very similar model to Open University. And one of their sort of main ethos really is access to everyone. So anyone who wants to do a degree should be allowed to. So they're very supportive, particularly for anyone who's perhaps not studied at this level or not studied at this level for a long time. They're very supportive.
Okay, so it's an MBA from Arden University but delivered in Cambridge. Is that correct?
Yeah, the classroom sessions will be in Cambridge.
Okay,
yes.
cool. Not confusing at all.
Not at all.
So the uni application, is that what, a few forms or what?
Yeah, as I say, it's a fairly bureaucratic process, and we'll guide you through that, as will Arden. And it's really looking at your previous experience, why you're doing the degree, what support you might need. And there's a little bit around criteria, but most of it is around they don't want anyone to sign up for a degree that's not going to be able to complete it.
Got it. Okay, so it's 2 to 3 weeks for that. And then what happens?
Once that takes a couple of weeks to go through, then you'll get your offer letter from the university, and that's effectively when your programme starts. So there's a fairly significant induction process to go through, which is going to guide you through the course and all the different elements of it. But the first thing we'll do is we'll just have what we call a launch event with you. We'll spend a few hours with you, introducing you to everyone, going through the programme, what to expect, and we'll probably start the full training sessions probably late October.
Okay, and who does the actual teaching on these on the physical courses?
So the teaching varies. They're all academics who all they lecture on MBAs. That's what they do. So
okay.
They will deliver the majority of the academic learning.
Yeah.
And then one of our own facilitators, he will facilitate some of the action learning coaching workshops.
Cool.
Which is more around, well, how are you going to make this work? And that's where the bosses will start to see some return on investment. because we're going to
Okay.
make them actually do what they talk about.
Got it. Nice. Okay. And then what? I guess 3 years pass and then everyone's happy. Is that the next step, or?
Yeah, I wish it was that easy. Yeah, I think, for the first 12 months, there's lots of information that's taught, and there's lots of practical activities around that, lots of assignment writing. Once you've sort of got all the teaching, and the final bit is your research project, and this is the bit that again is a big chunk of your final mark. And what rather than giving people, which often happens with MBAs, people are given a case study to work through for a different organisation.
Yeah.
The model that we've worked together with Arden means they're going to be working on a project within their own organisation. So something that needs fixing, something that needs improving, a new product they want to launch to market. And we really want to be working in partnership with their organisations on this.
Okay, so basically 12 months of learning and 12 months of doing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. And then when do I get my big fat degree certificate?
So that would come once you've completed all your assignments, which you'll do as you go.
Yeah.
The final bit is your research project. So once you've submitted that and that's passed, that'll be you completed your MBA and you'll get your certificate.
Got it. Okay.
And there's a little added bonus. You'll also become a chartered manager as part of the programme as well.
Chartered manager. Nice. Cool. I think that is... are there any questions which I should be asking which I've not asked?
I'm guessing maybe about eligibility. People might be asking the question.
So eligibility, yeah. So what needs to be chatted about here?
So unlike a lot of universities, Arden don't insist on an undergraduate degree. And their ethos is they recognise that people who have worked in industry for maybe 20 odd years have got as much experience in doing stuff as someone who's just left university. Okay. So even if you don't have an undergraduate degree, as long as you can demonstrate significant senior management experience, you would be accepted onto the programme. Cool. And it's usually about 5 years they're looking for.
Okay, cool. So basically 5 years of what, management?
Well, senior management really, and I think it depends on the size of your organisation. If you're running your own business, then clearly you're at the most senior level. If it's someone that's working as part of an organisation, you would need to be managing a sort of significant team or department to actually be able to apply what you're learning.
And what would you say is significant?
Where you've got perhaps the ability to influence projects, people, because what we're going to be asking you to do as part of the programme is, implement a significant project within your organisation. And if you don't have the clout to do that, then you're going to struggle to gain your final qualification.
Oh, with the research project at the end. Okay. Cool.
Right to say that it'd be managers who manage people. Manage managers.
Very good point, Roy. Yeah, that would typically be it.
Sorry, Roy was a bit quiet there. Could you say it again? Or
yeah, sorry. It was just to say that
you're still a bit quiet, mate.
Can you hear me now?
Bit quiet. Sorry.
Okay. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
You are quite quiet though, compared to how you've been.
Right, okay.
If you could shout, that would be great. Grand.
So, hopefully you can hear me now. It was just to say that it's often people who manage managers are often in that who would be looking at this type of qualification.
Okay.
Yeah. And we would pick that up in that initial chat they have with us around eligibility. We would right away pick up on that. And as I say, we're not going to ask anyone to go through this that's not going to be able to complete it at the end.
Okay, and random side question. I see a few of my ex-Air Force mates are interested. So I guess if you're an RAF officer, would that be good enough? I mean, Air Force officers meet all of this criteria here.
Absolutely. I think, again, as long as you've been responsible for a team or a function of significant size, then yeah. And I think the guys who work in the RAF are probably overqualified compared to me. So
fair enough. Okay, so I think that's everything. I'm just going to go through that Facebook feed, just see any questions. Prerequisites we've covered. Details. Apprenticeship levy. So, okay, Stu Merrick says, I believe this is apprenticeship levy, blah, 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 blah. Something about 300k a year to have access. So this is the 3 mil wage bill I think he's referring to. Is that?
Yeah, I think that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, okay. So he's talking about the main levy, but this is the non-levy part we're talking about.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, we have double checked. Cheers, Stu. Blah, 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 blah. Misinformation, it's not 300k, blah, blah, blah. I swear there were other questions here.
There probably was. I had a quick flick through myself last night and I can't honestly remember what was there.
So hopefully that, yeah. Jonathan Reynolds says, is it linked to the apprenticeship levy? Yes, it is. The non-levy bit. I'm my own boss, so yes, we already used government funding and secured. Okay, nice. Distance learning, yeah, we covered that. Sweet. I'm glad my idiot questions are working. Are you... Yep, so he's aware of that. I think we've covered all of the questions that I thought we did. You can do... Okay, so David said, if it's what I think it is, you can do this with any university that has non-levy contract award, and provided your wage bill is less than £3 million, you only pay...
Spot on. So not everyone will have access to the SME funding. We had to apply for it specifically.
Okay.
So most of the universities and colleges will have a pot of money, but there's not very many private training providers that have got it.
Okay. So it's not as simple as just going to University of East Anglia and saying, can I have a 900 quid MBA, please?
Yeah, the other thing that's worth remembering as well is that a lot of the universities who traditionally offer MBAs, like the UEA, Cranfield, Oxford Business School, they will take your levy pot and ask you for more over and above that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think for Cranfield, and don't quote me on this, but I think they're asking for about another 20 grand on top of the levy funding.
What?
Because they're Cranfield.
So that's just pure markup?
Absolutely, but again, people will pay that for a degree from Cranfield.
Okay, a bit like Wharton Business School in America then, I guess.
It's exactly the same. If that's what you want, you'll pay that. We're working with a different market. We're working with people who either don't want or can't afford that kind of tariff.
Lovely. Okay. And getting towards the end of the questions, whether you don't... So I don't think you ever attend Ipswich, really. It's just Madingley Hall in Cambridge. Yeah,
and again, it's very much on a one-to-one basis. Sometimes you'll find that some of our students will need additional support, and we'll work that out on a case-by-case basis. But
nice.
Typically, most of the classroom sessions will be Cambridge.
Amazing. Okay, so I think that's everything. So let's go back to how we... So if this is for you, how does someone get hold of this pack that is posted through the post?
Well, they can contact me, Siam. So they can either give me a call on at Lighthouse, which is 033.
Sorry, one sec. I'm just gonna whoopsie. In fact, I'll make a new page for this. 1 second. Sorry, someone's breathing down the mic quite heavily. Yeah. Okay, so info pack, I guess, let's call it. Info pack, it'll be delivered via the post. So basically contact Roy on, what's your phone number?
It's 0333
323
9690.
9690. And what's your email in case they want to email you?
Yeah, sure. It's Roy, so it's ROY at Lighthouse.
Oh, yeah, Lighthouse.
Group.
Yep. Lovely. Amazing.
It is probably also worth mentioning, Sam, that we are hosting an event over at Madingley Hall on the 23rd of July.
Ooh, okay. So 1 sec. So 23rd July. Yeah.
We're hosting a sort of half-day event there, really, for people who are interested, who want to sign up, who want to have a chat face-to-face. completely free of charge. All they need to do is get in contact with Roy to book a place.
Ah, like a discovery day type
Absolutely,
thing.
absolutely. No commitment at all at this stage. It's really just so as you've got all the information you need.
Ah, nice.
And I think we're going to sort of start at about 9:30, didn't we say, Jill?
Yeah.
Give you plenty of time to get there, and there'll be refreshments and perhaps a lunch at the end, but it's just a chance to find out more. And
Lovely.
obviously, the most important thing is to make sure it's right for you.
Nice. And 9:30 till what time-ish, roughly?
Probably about 12:30. We'll stay as long as people want to ask us questions, but we'll probably finish the formal part of the day around 12.
Okay, so is that a Tuesday, is that correct?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. Lovely. Well, thank you so much for your time. Again, sorry for the last minute, like, hey, let's get some info here. But I thank you for your time. It's cleared my personal knowledge up a fair bit. So,
You're very welcome. If anyone wants anything else, please just ask them to get in touch.
Cool.
Thanks, Sam.
Roy's going to be a bit busy.
He's nothing else to do.
Lovely. All right. Thanks, guys. I will see you soon, and I'll get this posted out on Facebook ASAP.
Thank you.
Toodles.
Bye.